Hey YouTubers, Whiteboarders with the Whiteboarders channel. Thank you for watching. Today, a very friendly do-it-yourself project. We are going to run you through the steps required to change a dual light switch. And here's what the actual cover looks like. As you can see, it has two openings for two switches. Step 1, safety first, always cut all electrical power to that light switch. In our case, it is circuit breaker number 17. At the light switch now, and now's a good time to turn the switch on and off to see if the actual light turns on. In our case, it does not. At this point, let's go ahead and grab our flathead screwdriver and remove both these screws. And I guess we only have two, so that's all we need to remove. In your case, if you have four, remove all four so we can take this cover plate off. After removing the screws, the cover plate comes off very easy. Set that aside. After the cover plate is removed, this is a very important step. We need to verify that electrical power is nowhere inside this box. So grab your electrical tester, turn it on, the green light comes on, and you want to touch every single screw, every single wire. And in the event that electricity is still being provided to any of these wires or switch, that green light will turn red and it will begin blinking. In our case, we can see no electrical power is being provided to this switch. From here, grab your Phillips screwdriver and remove the Phillips screw on top as well as the Phillips screw on bottom. After backing each screw out, slowly and carefully pull the switch out, gain access to the wires that connect to the back. And just to be extra sure that every single wire has no power, I'm going to continue testing with the actual tester. Real quick, let's talk about the wires. On the very bottom, you have a black wire going into a black screw. That is your common and power lead. That's bringing all the electricity into the switch. And then you've got this black wire up top going into the brass screw. That is one of your traveler wires. On the opposite side, you have a wire going into a green screw. That is your ground. And on the bottom, you have a red wire going into a brass screw. That's an additional traveler wire. And if you're curious about what traveler wires do, they feed through the wall and go to an additional electrical source. In our case, they travel from this light switch across the room, through the walls, to that light switch. So what I can do is I can walk over there, turn the light on with that switch. I can then walk over to this switch and turn the light off. And the reason we can do that is because of the traveler wires. So the first wire we want to remove is that lower wire going into the black screw. Common wire is disconnected. Now it's time to remove both traveler wires. We're going to remove the black and then the red. I've got the first traveler wire disconnected. This is a very important step. Do not forget which wire is your power lead into the common and which wire is your traveler. They're the same color, as you can see. I set this one aside. That is my power lead going into the common, and this is one of the traveler wires. I'll shift that to the far left. Now to the opposite side, let's go ahead and remove the red wire. Both traveler wires are removed and shifted to the far left. Now let's remove the ground. Okay, the switch is completely removed from the actual wiring. And at this point, I want to point something out. You can see this wire cap and you see two white wires going into the cap. Those are your neutrals. And with the three-way switch, we will not be using those or connecting them to the actual switch. Now it's time to install the new switch. The very first wire we're going to install and secure is that ground wire on the green screw. And something very important, you'll notice that hook and its position. You want to position that hook and loop it around the actual screw in a way that it will tighten with the screw. Green screw is tight and ground wire is secured. Now it's time to install the first traveler. We are going to grab the red and install it on the lower brass screw on the same side as the green ground screw. First traveler wire is secure with the brass screw. Again, that is the first traveler wire. Now let's flip the switch onto the back side and grab that second traveler wire, that black wire on top, and we are going to secure it to this top brass screw. Second traveler wire is secured by the brass screw. Additional thing I want to point out, your red and black traveler wires may be positioned on the bottom. It all depends on the design of your actual switch. With that said, from here we will grab the power lead wire and secure it to the black common screw. Common wire is secured by the black screw. Now it is time to carefully and slowly reposition all the wires back into the electrical box and position it in a way where we can secure it with the two screws. In the event that you're not sure which is top and bottom, in most cases, switches have top written right on them just like that. From here, let's grab the Phillips screwdriver. Our first switch is secure. Now it's on to the next switch, and we are going to follow and complete the exact same steps. And I know we already did this in the beginning of the project, but it's always a good thing to double check that electrical power has been cut to this switch as well. And again, if you had electricity being supplied to this switch, that green light would go red and start beeping. And just like the switch we just did, as you can see, there are 2 white neutral wires capped off and tucked away in the electrical box. I've got the ground wire shifted down below, the 2 traveler wires shifted to the left, and the common or power lead wire shifted to the right. Grab your new switch and install it the exact same way we did the first switch. Alright, as you can see, the common wire is secured by the black screw, and up to the top, your first traveler wire into the brass screw. On the opposite side, your ground wire into the green, and your second traveler wire, which is red, into the lower brass screw. From here, let's slowly and carefully reposition the wires back into the electric box and secure this switch to the box. Second light switch is secure back to the electrical box. Now it's time to grab the cover and install this. And the new cover goes on the exact same way the old cover came off. New white cover plate is on and secured, and notice how all 4 of the flathead screws are positioned. All the professional electricians position the flathead screws in this manner and are in line with each other up and down or north and south. That gives it a professional finishing touch and appearance. Now it's time to turn the power back on. Circuit breaker number 17. And now to test it, I'll come to the entrance light, which is a dimmer. I'll turn that on, and as you can see, the light goes on, and I'm going to walk across the room, and this should turn it off. As it does. Perfect. Back over to the other side, and this should turn it off. And again, that's all the traveler wires communicating to each other. That's it. I hope the video helped. Hey, do us a huge favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely go to your settings, turn on your YouTube notifications, because once you do that, every video that we upload, you will be notified. You will be able to stay up to date with us, and that will be awesome. Thanks again.